How to choose the right niche for your online business. What is up, guys? I'm Will Mosley, parent of pretty much 5 boys, soon to be 6 here in March. I've been a creative director helping million-dollar businesses make more millions for the past 15 years now. I'm now on a new journey of actually building my own business through YouTube. I've built an agency previous, but this is a new sector, a new chapter in my life. And so I thought this would be a good transition because I'm thinking now about audience and trend and all this different stuff. This would be a great time to share a bit of what I've been learning, discovering about not just my past experience, but now new knowledge that's broken. And also, by the way, if you love self-development, things like that, learning and improving yourself, which most of you guys do, like if you're probably roughly-ish in the 30-ish range, 30 to 40-ish range, probably have kids, probably dadded it out. Like if you care about improving your life, all that stuff, like you're in the right place. So before we start, go ahead and hit the sub button. Helps circulate this to other dads, other parents like you, other business, self-development like-minded people like you. Without further ado, I'm not going to take up any more than 10 minutes of your time. Set a timer for 10 minutes. So this is part of our ongoing series, pretty much with just business 101. The first episode we did was how to start an online business with a family. Second episode was best online business models for parenting. And now we are on episode 3, choosing the right niche for your online business. This is a 10-part series. So stick around or go back to the previous videos if you haven't watched those before. We're continuing on with this. Okay. Business, audience, choosing the right niche for your online business. It comes down to, one, what kind of business are you going to start? Because that matters a lot. And then figuring out how you can have an unfair advantage, with your business. So I'm going to start with the 3 types of businesses that we can start. And then I'll narrow that down because that'll matter a lot. So you have an audience-based business, you have a product-based business, and you have a service-based business. I got this from Ali Abdaal, amazing self-help development YouTuber. So I didn't even realize that there were these kinds of businesses until just recently. I've always been in the service business. Doing web development, doing design, doing, filming, all that stuff, serving other clients. I knew that there was a business where you can create a product, right? And you sell that product. You go to Walmart. Those are all products, right? But I didn't realize that there was specifically an audience business. And I'm going to start there because I think that the majority of you should actually maybe start an audience business. And I'll tell you why, and then I'll also work backwards onto the alternative to that and why I've kind of came to this conclusion, at least with myself, in 2025. Okay, an audience-based business. Facebook is an audience-based business. YouTube's an audience-based business. So Facebook figured out how to collectively get all the eyeballs, right? Get people to sign up for free onto Facebook. And then they use those eyeballs, that attention, and then they're able to their product is the attention, the audience. And so marketers who want to put their products in front of that attention to hopefully get sales, they will buy those eyeballs. They will buy that audience. Okay. So YouTube, same thing. YouTubers are creating audiences. We're building up, people, like-minded people, dads or parents, people that love self-development, all that stuff. We're building up an audience, typically a lot of times because we just love what we're talking about and we're just so excited. So we naturally, the people that are excited with us, we know them pretty well because a lot of times they're a lot like us. So we build up an audience, of 10,000, 100,000, a million, whatever. That's technically a product. Okay. So with that product, you can do many things, right? YouTube will pay you for that audience. They'll pay you to put ads in front of that audience. Okay. So that's one way. Because if you hit critical mass with an audience that actually follow you and enjoy, what you're doing, you then can say, hey, like, if you vibe with all this, like, I'd really appreciate it if you just kind of supported my journey. And a lot of people will pay, like, let's say you open up a Patreon or whatever, they'll pay just to support you and to see you going. You're still going to be making videos. You may make an extra video too or whatever to just kind of like give them extra stuff. But like at the end of the day, they're here for you. And I'm going to go back to service and product and then come back to pretty much audience at the end as to why I believe that audience maybe is the best way to go when trying to figure out your niche and trying to kind of get your business going. So I'm going to jump to service because that's what I know so well. That's what I've been doing for so long. Service is actually a pretty easy, amazing business to deliver on, hard to bring in the leads that you need. Okay. So the reason why service is such an amazing business model is a lot of times it's just knowledge work. If you're a writer, you don't need, a store, like a big store or anything like that. Big things that cost a lot of money. You don't have a lot of upfront investing that you have to do, capital that you have to generate or like, use to deploy against your business. A lot of it is intangible. I was always able to leverage what I did because every product that I did or every like service that I offered was intangible, meaning that it was not physical. It was in the digital space, meaning that either it can be duplicated, like as in like, there's like, as for instance, like a PDF, if you had a piece of paper in real life, you'd have to go print that and print that and print that. But a PDF, you'd like, you just copy, doesn't matter. It's like a website. I used my mind to code or like build this beautiful website, but it didn't really cost me anything. It cost me my time, which is very important. You have time and you have energy and you have money, right? But it didn't cost me, I didn't have to use money to make the product specifically. You could, and that comes down to like cost of goods and stuff like that if you want to hire somebody else out. But if we're just starting a business by ourselves, it's usually what's happening. It just takes my time. I sit down for 8 hours, code out a website. We're good. We're vibing. Same with like a brochure or, a flyer or a banner or anything like that. Technically, it has a little bit of print cost, but they're nominal. They're pretty like the big work is to use your brain to create something beautiful for the client. And then you pass that along to the printers. They print it for like super low cost. And then that's it. You go about when you create a video like this, I press record. I don't have like, aside from the upfront, maybe equipment cost that you buy a camera, the one-time purchase of that purchase, like it doesn't really cost you much money. So it is actually and you can also, knowledge-based businesses, a lot of times you can charge much bigger premium than what like a product would be. You can charge $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever. You can charge those premiums. It just depends on what it's worth to the client. And this is where it gets into a bit of the hard part, right? You have this product that you can deliver on that's beautiful, that's amazing, but trying to attract leads is double, triple, quadruple as hard as fulfilling. It is much harder to get people in to your business to buy your product. And that is majority of places where most people fail. They'll open up the shop, but they can't get any people in the door. They'll have this really amazing product that their friends are like, this is great, this is cool. But they don't know how to sell it to people. And selling is a skill. It is a whole entire craft itself. And that's tough. I told you guys 10 minutes. We're already at like almost less than 1 minute. we're going to go over just a little bit on this one so I can kind of get to picking out your niche, I promise. Product is it's kind of hard up front because, one, you don't have the leads, again, just like the service-based business is. You don't have the leads, so it's much harder to get people to get buy your product. But the products a lot of times are low, like low profit on that. Like you're trying to make a tea set or, whatever the product is. But you're gonna have to buy a lot of supplies, a lot of things to actually make it happen. And then you also have to figure out how to get people to buy it, which are two hard things. Now, you can have digital products, courses, right? Courses are really knowledge work. It's what interesting. You make it once and then it forever sells again and again and again, as long as you can get the people there. Books are the same way. Just write a book, spend the time writing the book, and then you forever spend the rest of your time marketing the book or whatever, getting people to buy the book. But you don't have to remake the book every time, which is great. That's kind of the same thing with the product. You don't have to remake the product almost every time. Technically manufacturing, yes, but that's why I guess physical would be pretty tough too. Making physical products versus digital products would be maybe a step up. So both the product and the service-based business models both suffer from you. They both suffer from you having to figure out how to get attention, how to get people to actually buy, and I think that is why majority of businesses go out of business. They just can't get people through the door and sustain it. Now, flip that back to the audience. Most times people want proof. Not most times. People want proof. They want to be able to know what it is that they want to understand you. They want to like you. They want to. Most times when we're trying to decide whether, we want this apple and this apple, a lot of times it comes down to brand and whether we recognize great value apple versus, I don't know what other type of apples there are, but brand name apple. And so when you make an audience is super high leverage, okay? It's high leverage because it's compounding. Products and services are very linear. A lot of times it's very hard to compound up the product and the service. You can. It's a harder model to make happen. When you have an audience, you make a video, right? I'm just going to stick to YouTube as being the way to generate an audience, okay? There are other ways like TikTok and stuff like that. I'm just going to stick to YouTube. Each day you make a video, you put a video out. Let's say that the video for, your first video gets 100 views, and then you put another video out, and that video, though that video gets, let's just say 120 views, but the video that you also put out before now has 120 views because it's just, it circulates through the internet. So every video that you add to the catalog starts to get more and more views. And creating shorts from this, auto-generating shorts with Opus Clip is the way to go. When I put out one of these videos, for instance, so I think last month or a month before last, because I eased off the gas for the holidays, I had about 100,000 views between all of my shorts that I generated. But the videos that I made had 50 or 100 views, very nominal. But the thing is, you put in the work on one video for your business, and then you're able to use Opus Clip and it'll auto-generate 17, 18, 20, 40 clips, depending on how long the video is, for you. And then you can you can auto-schedule it. And so you just keep on doing that. And all those shorts, every one of those shorts, your video might get 50 views or 100 views, but every one of those shorts is getting 100, 200, 300, 600 views. That's where it was at. 600 views every short. So theoretically, when you make this video, one video for 20 minutes could generate, let's just say each is worth 500 views. Each short is worth 500 views. So 500 times 40, that should be, 200,000 or 20,000 views, right? 400 times 20. Sorry, 8,000 views. Way off. So I'm generating pretty much 8,000 views from one video that took me 20 minutes to make. And you do that over and over and over again. and people start to learn who you are and subscribe and all that stuff. And so what happens is you create a respect, you create authority, you create lots of content supporting what you're doing, what you're going to be doing in your, like, what you're talking about with your business. And you create this audience. And with this audience, you can do product and service and audience, the product, the actual, way to monetize, all at the same time, pretty much. But you want to grow the audience first, right? So you grow the audience. Let's say that you grow the audience to critical mass of like 100,000 subs. It sounds impossible. It's not impossible. Am I there? No. But I see the trajectory of consistency and all that stuff. But you grow the audience, you get the following, and then a percentage of those people that are super fans will, of course, want to buy, your course that you've made. That's a product. Or possibly buy a book if you write a book, or join your Patreon. Let me tell you, like, let's just say you're at 100,000 subs. Let me tell you, if you sold a Patreon membership for $10, okay, and 1% of your 100,000 people, let me do this real quick, 100,000 people, your audience, times 0.01, which would be 1% of your audience, that's 1,000 people. 1,000 people times $10 per month. So you have $1,000 people that signed up for your Patreon. Let's see. You would be making $10,000 a month just passively. It's just happening. If 2%, that would be $20,000. And you're not doing any more work. See, the problem with product or service is that a lot of times with service, it's per client. Every client you have to satisfy and put a certain amount of energy and time. But as you grow an audience, it just compounds and compounds and compounds on itself. I'm not saying that service is impossible. I'm not saying that product by itself is impossible. But the idea is you have to have leads. You have to have people interested in your product to be able to sell the product. And if you have an audience, they're naturally interested in you. It makes it much easier for you to actually sell the product. And if you have a service, for instance, if someone wants me to help them start a business or whatever, or they want a consultation or whatever, or not a consultation, consulting, I can charge hourly for that. And it's just a fraction of my audience. And not only that, you also have brand deals that you could have, like sponsorships, stuff like that. So audience, I'm finding, at least for 2025, is all I'm putting my attention to this year. I've done service for 10 years, product pretty much 0 years. I've never tried to actually make a real product, but I'm going to be doing audience all this year combined with online courses. Okay. So I'll be doing that in tandem, but I'm not really trying to sell the courses until I get to a critical mass with my audience where it actually makes sense. Anyway, so that's the first part of that. And then finding your niche, right? The way that once you pick what product that you're going to, like what type of business model you're gonna follow, I really believe your niche is like the intersection of 2 or 3 things that you just are, okay? For me, and it took a while, I'm a parent. I've been parenting for almost 11 years now. So parenting, all right? And then I love business. I've been helping businesses this whole time. And then pretty much self-development. This whole last year has been about improving myself. And I've always been thinking about how to improve myself. And so I've crossed those 3 things into one thing. I help parentpreneurs that care about self-development. Like, that is my niche. I'm also 35, so a lot of times they say, try to help the people that are 5 years before you. So I'm trying to help people that are roughly 30-ish, right in that range. Looking at my my analytics, it looks right about that. About 25 to 35 to 40-ish is kind of the range. And majority of you guys, or people, are 90% of you guys are male. Okay, we have some females. What up? Shout out to you guys. But 90% are male, so probably dads that are trying to figure this out too. So figuring out if you kind of cross the 2 or 3 things that just you're really passionate about, if you cross those 3 things and then you go to ChatGPT and say, hey, what are the 100 problems that this avatar, make sure to put the age and the sex, the who you're talking to, what are the 100 problems they're having? And most times you care about those things, and you've already maybe gone through a lot of the stuff because those are that's stuff that you're passionate about. And then you can just educate and be good about it. And the great thing about the education is, like, when you teach, you're actually learning better for yourself. Like, there's some sort of statistic or whatever that's proven that, like, when you are teaching other people, you're accelerating your education, you're accelerating the growth, versus just passively listening to something or passively like, I'm going to do this. If you have to teach somebody, you go a little deeper. And so I would combine the superpower of YouTube/TikTok, like the shorts or whatever, with growing an audience to critical mass, 10,000, 100,000, whatever. And don't think of, I know so many people, and I know I have to, I really need to monetize this. I really need to make money from this. The thing, reputation and audience is extremely high leverage. There's not, like, I was talking to ChatGPT the other day, and I'm like, what are the top 4, or what are I didn't say the top 4, but it gave me 4. So what are the top most valuable assets in humankind? What are the top assets? And it said time, obviously, because it's non-renewable. Energy, okay? Knowledge, skills, pretty much, skills. And connections. And none of those were money, okay? Which is crazy. Which, by the way, if you've listened to any of my content, you know that money is time and time is money. It's literally time. So if you actually have time, you already have money in a sense. You already, like, you're going to work so that you can then trade that money for time. You already have the time. So you don't, like, with the business, like, yes, you want to make money, blah, 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 cover your needs. But I really recommend that if you are in a position where you don't have enough money to pay for your bills, working the regular job, there's nothing wrong with working the 9-to-5er. Nothing wrong. You'll actually find that it is a much better deal than saying, I'm going to quit and then I'm going to try to make it in business. Making it in business, you're going to absolutely be working about 100 hours a week. Yes, there's no ceiling on what you could make, but 90% of people go out of business because they can't get leads to their door. This is why we're talking about this right now. I want you to have leads. I want you to have the audience. This is what I'm doing for myself. I'm just like one little step, micro step probably in front. Like, if you're just trying to start the business, we're just like one micro step in front. We can do it together. But nowhere in that was money. And here's why, right? So time, if you have time, you can make money. Okay? If you have energy, you can make money. If you have skills, you can make money. If you have connections, you can make money. Now, take any of these away, okay, right? So we're trying to make money. If you have no time, you can't make money. If you have no energy, but you still have time, you're exhausted. Very hard to make money. If you don't have any skills, you're dumb, you just are nothing, you don't have anything. Very hard to, like, actually bring yourself up in your career or whatever, because you don't have any skills. You may have time, you have energy, but you don't have any skills. It might be hard. And then lastly, if you don't know who to talk to get a job, right? Hard to get a job. So money can just be made. Money, again, is just time. It's all it is. Be intentional about your time. You already technically have money. You can buy time. You actually can buy time. I didn't realize this until I think yesterday, but you can buy time. You buy future time, okay? So the dumb shit that you're doing right now to fuck up, where you're doing something that instead of it taking you 15 minutes or 5 minutes, it's taking you an hour, you're stealing from your future time. When you get really good intentional about your 24 hours, and those are your 24 hours, and then you figure out how to optimize all those 24 hours in a day, you're then now technically buying back your future time that you would have otherwise spent doing these other tasks. Hope that makes sense. So coming back to the initial core, how to pick your niche, pick your business model, whether it's a service-based business, product-based, audience. Can you do these all at once? You could. It's going to be very hard. I have the shiny object syndrome, as Alex Mosley says too. I'm like, oh, I'm going to run the agency and I'm going to build the business and I'm also going to make the courses. Terrible idea. So I'm going to try to focus in on just doing audience and then doing courses, as I get a little more, a little more with it. And so that's why I'm also putting a pause on the agency. Now, this doesn't mean that I won't service anybody that is already existing or whatever. It just means I'm not trying to bring in any more customers, any more clientele to the agency right now, because the leverage of respect, the leverage of an audience, it's much easier for you to sell a product when you have 1 million subscribers. You have the proof. It's much easier for you to sell your service when you have 100 videos talking about that service. It's just much easier. And so I'm doing the legwork for this year so that I then can just explode on product and service later on downstream. Now, don't get me wrong, you can buy, PPC, paid per click, advertising, stuff like that. You can do that. But my guess is that you don't have the capital or don't want to spend the capital to try to figure out the hot mess of advertising, which is great. Advertising is amazing. I love this shit. But you're probably, if you're anything like me, a parent with limited time, working a regular job, looking to level up to get to the next level of your life with income or time, freedom, whatever. And so that's why I recommend record a 10-minute YouTube video, record a 20-minute YouTube video. Look, this is 27 minutes now, guys. Hope you're here for the deep dive. And every day upload that video, give your knowledge. Also, by the way, with your kids, you have knowledge to give them. The biggest thing that you can give them is your knowledge, not your money, like your knowledge and your time, your energy. Knowledge, time, energy, right? Connections, because they're technically people that you're already hanging out with, not money. So you are making YouTube videos that you can also actually show them. Like, my kids are subscribed to my channel. They're listening to my shorts and stuff. So what up? What up, King, if you listening? Eden, whatever. Like, what up, guys? Anyways, that's all I got today. Again, this is number 3 in our series of Business 101. Just a peek at what's to come. Episode 4, can you start an online business without experience? Episode 5, what skills do you need to start an online business? Episode 6, how to balance work, family, and starting a business. So we'll go over those in the next 3 episodes in this series. All right. Remember, if you are not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button. Look, there will be a video popping up. If you like this, you'll probably like the next video that's popping up right now. All right, take care. Peace.